The Satanic Temple's greatest troll yet. In a bold and controversial move, the Satanic Temple, known as TST, has launched the quote Samuel Alito's mom's satanic abortion clinic. A fully functional telehealth abortion clinic in New Mexico, provocatively named after the Catholic Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito Jr.'s mother. The clinic, as Cosmopolitan reports, stands as a formidable challenge to the religious right's dominance over abortion law, offering abortion pills and 24/7 medical support, wrapped up in the mantle of a religious ritual. This isn't mere theatrics. TST's commitment to reproductive rights and religious freedom underpins their unique strategy. Chalice Blythe, a spokesperson for TST, explains, quote, the seriousness of our intent and beliefs is reflected in our work. Having a sense of humor about it is not a bad thing. Their approach combines legal acumen and public engagement to challenge prevailing abortion restrictions, leveraging their status as a religious organization to claim similar protections to those used by Christian business owners denying services on religious grounds. While while facing criticism from various quarters, TST's clinics embodies a radical fusion of healthcare and religious practice, aiming to redefine the landscape of reproductive rights. So, so basically, they launched like a virtual online clinic based in New Mexico that will provide abortion services to people, and it is wrapped up in their religious practice. So if someone so chooses to receive reproductive care from them, especially in terms of terminating a pregnancy, the Satanic Temple, you have an intake form, you have nurses that will talk to you. Like this is actually staffed by medical professionals. And if you want to engage in the ritual ceremony
Mm.
of the aborted procedure, they provide um guidelines on that as well. But the
Mm.
idea is that they one of their tenets is that your body is, is for your will, is for your autonomy, it's inviolable. And if that's the case, then you should have full autonomy over your body. And part of their abortion ritual is to like look at yourself in the mirror and reflect upon your own personhood, reflect upon why you're taking this decision to exert the right of having an inviolable body, and then take it as you wish, and so forth. And to cap it all off, they decided who better to commemorate the spirit behind their work, the naming it after the most anti-abortion Supreme Court justice's mother.
Unbelievable. So is this, are they trying to take advantage of like a loophole, like a religious privilege loophole within the law? Or is it
Exactly.
that's right? So
So
that is that, and does that work?
this, I mean, this is going to play out in the courts because so in New Mexico, my understanding is that they haven't had abortion completely restricted as it has in other places, and they've been using so basically they're coming at this from the perspective of religious freedom.
Mhm.
And so they for example, they sued in Indiana to try to reassert abortion rights within Indiana using a religious freedom argument.
Mhm.
And unfortunately in Indiana, as of October 25th, actually, that suit was dismissed. But um on a technicality. It was dismissed because of a lack of jurisdiction or
Mhm.
jurisdictional right. Or I'm not can't remember the word I'm looking for. But basically they're thinking about doing an appeal. But
Hmm.
basically the idea is that this should be there's multiple angles in which they approach this kind of argument, and combined all together, it actually makes it quite strong. So one of the arguments that they make is a right to privacy, and so you should have a right to privacy over your own essential, like, body organs. Another argument that they make is about in our constitution, well, not our constitution, my constitution. I'm American, you're not. Cry about it. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I can't
Um,
hear you over my free healthcare.
yeah, exactly. Um, so,
And
another argument they make is that,
plus, we don't need to do these kind of things for abortion in my country.
you
So
know what,
yeah,
sir,
I,
you got
I,
a point.
I,
You got a point. Yeah, we don't you don't need to do these dances, this freaking
yeah.
tango just to get reproductive health care. You know what? You're right. Um,
Yeah.
so
But let me be honest. To be fair, I do get my free healthcare because we have a giant ass military right next to us, which makes us be able to save on military budget to be able to afford free healthcare. So there's that as well. Yeah. But anyways,
you're welcome. Cause we're holding the freaking wall. Anyways, another argument they make is that being forced to carry a pregnancy against your will is a form of involuntary servitude, which is a violation of our constitutional rights. And then another argument that they make is again about religious freedom. And what's really interesting is that there are actually multiple other religious organizations suing in states with near total abortion bans on the basis of religion as well. So there are Jewish organizations suing in different states about this, especially um, in conjunction and collaboration with Americans United for the Separation of Church and State, one of the best organizations preserving secularism in America. There are Muslim organizations actually involved in these suits as well. Because what people don't
well,
understand, or I certainly didn't understand until Roe v. Wade was overturned and I actually started researching it, is that the standard of um, like anti-abortion belief that is prevalent in Catholicism, which is what I grew up with, is actually the strictest that I have ever come across in the world. Like,
mm,
Catholics are on a different level of anti-abortion, pro-life. The other major Abrahamic faiths actually have a long tradition, history, and allowance for abortion for considerably longer than the Catholics do. The Catholics, it's never. It's never. It's never. But for Jews and Muslims, for example, I know for Muslims, according to most traditional scholars, the rule under certain circumstances is about 40 days. It's about 40 days. And with Jewish tradition, I think it's somewhere similar. But so in their faiths, it actually is allowed. And so their argument is that the if the government is involved in not allowing that practice to continue, that's actually a violation of their religious freedom, because in their religious practice, that's fully allowed, fully permittable. Um, and so the Satanic Temple is offering another distinct approach, but they take it further because their practice is about bodily autonomy in totality, not just about like the 40 days until quote unquote ensoulment. Um, if am I making sense?
yes. It's interesting. Brother Sid in the live chat with always the worst take saying, "What about the unborn babies' rights, you fools?" I mean, you have to have. Why would they have rights? They don't have personhood. They don't have self awareness. That uh, you don't get rights just because you have cells. You get rights once you have an identity. You require an identity for you to be able to have rights. So you don't have that as a fetus, and it's not an unborn baby. Okay, it's a fetus. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to answer that. And then
Yeah.
we have a whole bunch of super chats as well, but go on.
Well, you have a much more radical opinion on abortion than I do.
Not really, not really. I
Yes, you
just
do. You have the most radical opinion on when abortion is allowed that I have literally ever heard. I'm much more moderate. My belief is that abortion should be allowed up until the fetus can sustain life outside of the womb. If the fetus can sustain life on its own independent of the womb, then I don't think it should be allowed.
my entire argument is based on the harm that it could do to the mother and to society. And I'm very flexible about what what that may be. This is a medical question rather than an ideological question, right? My entire point is that I have no concern for the fetus beyond the mother's concern for the fetus and the mother's health, right?
Yes, obviously, even in
So
my scenario, that should be a priority.
so I just say I don't care about the fetus. So if you tell me, like, I say, like, oh, okay, why not just 1 day before birth? And like, oh, okay, because it's bad for their health. Or like, okay, then the limitation is the health. That's my entire my I'm not a medical expert. I'm just saying we have to take into account everything that could harm the mother, or both emotionally and physically, right? And that all I'm saying, I don't know where that line is. I'm just saying, in this calculation, I don't take into account the fetus at all, because it's not a person. It has no identity. It's not self-aware. I only care about the mother. That's what I'm saying. So you're saying, like, oh no, the line should be here, not be here. As long as those standards are based on the mother, I'm okay with where we figured out. That's a medical question. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay, that's considerably more reasonable than what I've heard you say in the past.
Well, I just don't know. Like, I don't. So I was like, okay, why not 1 day before birth? And if the reasoning that you give me is based on medical consideration for the mother, I'm like, okay, then do it. Then do it earlier, I guess, right? Yeah.
Oh man, I
We
want to
have.
dig into this more, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Okay.
Because that's not the craziest thing I've heard you say about this.
Right. Well, I always do mention when I'm talking about this that I'm not a medical expert, and I
Of
I
course.
I will submit to the expertise of the experts. I always say that. So there we go. We do have a whole bunch of super chats. Thank you, guys. Do you want to highlight those and read them?
Yes, yes, yes. Um, okay. So, um, excuse me, SSSPPP just gave us 666. I can't remember what currency this is, but thank you for the
Oh,
666. Hail Satan.
wait, let me check.
Um, Nasrin June, thank you for the super chat. She's saying, "Love you guys,
Swiss.
and I love watching your shows." Oh, it is Swiss. Okay, and this is
Oh, you
Swedish.
didn't? Yes. Thank you, Nasreen. Thank
I'm
you for
learning
being.
things. um, Gasian American, thank you for the super chat, saying, "Why don't Catholics see it as returning the soul to sender? Because it's viewed as fundamentally it's viewed as us trying to mix and manipulate God's perfect design and his perfect plan. And that's essentially like almost blasphemous. Um, it's not all right. That's why they're against condoms, because it's
Mhm.
you interfering with God's perfect design. Um,
What about glasses? Is glasses bad in like? Wouldn't that be interfering with God's perfect design?
exactly. And that's why the only consistent Catholics are also against IVF.
But are they against glasses?
If you're a anti-abortion, pro-life Catholic, you should also be against IVF
Hmm.
because that's interfering with God's perfect design. If God was gonna make you infertile, you have no right to try to take actions to make yourself fertile. But you don't see that as much. There are some that are consistent on that. There are some, but you don't see it as much. Anyways, GJ, thank you for the super chat, GJ. He's saying, "Hi from Holland. Sorry I'm late again. Can you recap Atheist Republic's YouTube policy changes announced last week and their underlying motivations?" I have no idea what you're
You
talking
don't?
about. We have no policy changes.
Yeah, we don't have policy change.
I mean, we had to do the show a few hours earlier last week because I was traveling, but now we're back at a normal time. I think
It
maybe
is
that's what
fine.
you're talking about.
But thank you. But thank you for the super chat.
Oh, and we just got 666. I'm not sure what the
Ooh,
name of the
nice.
currency in Kenya is,
Oh,
but
Kenyan
again,
currency. Okay, cool.
hail Satan.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Wow.
hail Satan in the live chat.
Is this our first super chat from Kenya? I think this is our
I
first
think
super chat from
so.
Kenya.
I think so.
Wow,
That's pretty
amazing.
cool. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool.
Yeah.
And guys,
Thank you.
thank you so much for your super chats. Your super chats do a lot to support the show. It does a lot to keep the show going every week. So thank you for all your support. And also, it's very fun to see everything that you guys have to say, your opinions, your commentary. Um, GJ gave another super chat and is throwing in a question saying, at Armin's very late abortions, why not extract? And to be clear, what I'm referring to is I have heard you say before that abortion should terminating a pregnancy should be fully allowed literally 5 minutes before birth.
Oh,
That's
wait.
what
You
you
said,
said that.
oh, yeah, I did say that. I did say that.
Yeah, that's insane.
Unless, that is not insane because you forgot the unless part. Unless, what? So why should, just say why shouldn't we have abortion 5 minutes before the birth? Why not? Just in one sentence. One sentence.
Just my opinion is that if that fetus can sustain life independently of the womb, then that is much closer to murder than simply terminating a pregnancy. Because
Um.
that being could have
Okay.
lived independently.
Okay. So you're doing. You seem to being a virtue ethicist. I'm just looking into consequences, right? So,
Sure.
um, looking at the consequences. If can you give me a reason why we can't have an abortion 5 minutes before birth, like consequentially?
Well, I think you're killing a baby that was ready to actually live. Like for real,
Yeah,
for
but
real.
that's yeah, but you could say that about a fetus. That's a different argument. You could say that about a fetus, like 10, months before that. But again, we could talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could find any health concerns for the mother herself, um, then I will give into that argument. Unless if you can't, if there's no consequences, because again, it has no personhood, it has no identity, it has no self awareness. I only care about that fetus so far as the mother cares about it. I care about the mother's care
Well,
for the
yeah,
fetus. I don't care.
psychologically, I think that would be absolutely grotesque.
Yeah, of course. Okay, if the mother cares about the fetus from the very moment of inception, then I care about it as well. Like again, it's just true by extension. I care about the fetus. I care about her care for it. I don't care about it separately, right?
Mhm.
So, guys, if you want me to have an abortion debate, let me know because my views are, as Susanna mentions, very radical. If you can't show me harm to the mother, I'm okay with taking that thing out like half a second before birth, right? So let me know
I know,
if you
it's
think I'm
so
being.
insane. It's so insane.
How is that insane? People don't give me reasons for why it's wrong, and they say it's insane. Okay, I'm open to changing my mind as long as they have tell me the negative consequences, and I will be like, oh, okay, then don't do it. But like, I need to hear something beyond by principle this is wrong because it would be murder. I mean, well, technically we could define murder is a term that we created as a crime, and we could define it the way we like it. So i try to I try to give into the definitions that reduces harm. So I need to see, I don't need definitions like, oh, this will be murder. I need to see the harm that is being reduced here. But anyways, we're getting too much into this.
Sure. No, to me, this out of all your opinions, like this one is more crazy to me than your opinion on cannibalism.
Okay, but I need. Hey, why are you doing this to me right now? I need actual arguments rather than just announcing that this is crazy. I need legitimate. I'm completely. I could change my opinion like that if you show me the harm. But here's the name of the game: show me the harm. Show me the harm. That's the name of the game. Anyways, let's go to. We got a whole bunch of other super chats that
Okay,
we're
well,
now.
maybe if I didn't wake up at 6:30 a.m. to prepare for the show, my
Okay.
brain would be at a place where I could go toe to toe with you. But right now, I'm not prepared for this.
Don't worry, don't worry. Nobody is prepared to have a debate with me. Nobody is.
Oh,
No.
jeez.
All right, let's
Oh,
continue. Let's do this.
jeez.
We got a whole bunch of other super chat.
Um, and someone is saying that late-term abortions are incredibly rare. It's a silly argument. I mean, yes, it is. It's true that it's
It's
incredibly
not.
rare, but
It's not
it's
an
actually
argument.
not
It's a
exactly. It's
hypothetical.
hypothetical that it
We're
should be
trying.
important to discuss this.
Yes, this is the hypothetical to evaluate where our moral stands, like where our standards are. You do this constantly in moral analysis. It's not an even. It's an assumption. It's not an argument. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to.
Anyways, we just got a buttload of super chats. I love to see it. Sakai is saying, I consider the cutoff to be approximately 26 weeks. Exactly. Same, Sakai. Same. And this is much more in line with how most people sit. This is like very normal, middle of the road opinion. This is so typical for Americans. This is reflective of most people's opinion. 26 weeks. After the first early signs of consciousness and pain receptors become monitorable, unless the mother's health is at risk, which is a priority, of course. So, just putting it out there. Lucifer Christ gave us, I think this is from Malaysia, gave us 6 Malaysian rupees, question mark. Is that the name of their currency? Anyways, it's saying any good books on free speech.
You could go to the free books written by the Enlightenment thinkers. All the
Oh,
writings of start from John Locke, Voltaire, all those guys. Yeah,
but
Voltaire.
there might be
Read work by Voltaire. Read works by Voltaire.
oh man, I want to find.
But
Oh,
I'll
there's a
go to the
name of
next
a
super
book
chat
I
while you
can't
do that.
remember. I know I have a recommendation. Oh man, I wish I could remember what it's called.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next super chat while you look
Yes.
for it. Okay, you want to read this one or should I?
Angel Aris, thank you for the 666. Hail Satan. The fetus isn't a living human until its lungs expand during labor. That's their statement.
Okay, thank you for that super chat. Let's go to the next one.
Benny Wolf is saying late term abortion equals delivery. No, but Armin isn't arguing for delivering that fetus. As in, oh, you terminated the pregnancy because now the pregnancy is literally done because the baby is delivered. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that that fetus will be made to be dead
I'm saying
5 minutes
kill
before
it. I
birth.
don't care. I'm saying if you want to kill it, do it. I don't care. Just kill the thing. If you don't care for it, I don't care for it. Take it out as late as you want. Okay, just just take care. As long
Oh
as
my goodness.
you take care of your health, both mentally and physically, it has no effect on you. As long as it doesn't have that, just the thing doesn't matter. The thing doesn't matter unless you care for it, unless it matters to you. All right, let's go to the next one.
Oh,
You're
GJ
muted.
saying, I heard Armin announce he's doing more YouTube streams. Oh, if that's what you mean by policy change, I mean it's not a policy. Armin's just doing more streams over here.
Yes,
He's doing more live
just
streams.
working harder. Yes, the new policy change is work harder, Armin, and the reason behind that is because um, that would be good. I mean, that's all I can say. It would be good to go live more often and connect with you guys more, and bring you more. About the reason behind it is because there's a lot of nonsense. Islamism and wokeism is spreading faster than a lot of people anticipated. So I'm trying to double up my streams. So in response to that, there you go.
Oh, for someone asking about books about free speech, I would recommend the book that just came out called The Canceling of the American Mind by Greg Lukiakoff. I can't remember how to
Mhm.
pronounce his last name, but just Google The Canceling of the American Mind.
Mhm.
Benny Wolf, thank you. He's saying abortion is not killing the fetus, it is terminating the pregnancy.
It is both.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's
semantic.
just it. It's both. It's not. It's a false dilemma. You could be both at the same time. Again, fetuses don't matter. Okay, fetus lives don't matter. Just say that. Hashtag fetus lives don't
I
matter.
hate that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't get upset. Just kidding.
um,
Oh,
Too bad. Two gave $2. Thank you. Saying new subscriber from Nashville. Y'all are great. Well, thank you, Too Bad. Thank you for joining the AR militia, the AR army. We are growing strong. We are on the route to 50K. So that's a good reminder. If you are here and you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe because we're here every week. Our ministry meeting multiple times a week. It's getting juicy. It's getting fun. I mean, it always has been. And also, if you're here and you have not liked the stream, like the stream because we're about to dive into some nonsense right now. So you guys
oh
better hold on
yes.
to your britches. Hold on to
Yes.
your britches. Thank you for joining.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube? Blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.